Ever since Kaisen got his anime, it's been looking pretty good for where it's headed. The anime obviously did pretty good. It bounced off the hype it got from that. Right now it's one of the animes defining the new generation of shows. The movie broke top 10 highest earners in Japan. The whole franchise they got is only getting stronger. By the time the second season is out, it's gonna get another huge boost, especially since it's coming out in the winter. A lot of other popular shows are coming out at the same time. The manga is already doing alright, but after the anime, it convinced me and a shit ton of other people to start the manga. It's definitely as good as the anime, for any anime onlys. It's even better if I'm being honest, with what happens later on. But the last main fight felt like an ass pull, if I'm being straight up. It's the first time I feel like I had bad writing since reading it. The whole Maki getting a huge buff out of nowhere felt pretty forced and unnatural. Maki's thing was that she got her full potential after her twin died, cause her twin had some curse energy, and that limited her blessing. The blessing was taking all her curse energy and giving her really good physical strength, but since she was born as a twin, it counts them as one person. And her twin still had some left, so that ended up limiting her blessing, and it was never at its peak. But now that her twin Mai died, she has access to all of it now, and it's basically Toji level in strength. And I mean that only physically, but as fighters, they're on different levels. To make it clear, Maki wasn't Toji level yet. That part of the buff is fine. The way they explained it was good, it made sense. It didn't feel like the manga forced it in last minute. You could tell they were planning that for a while now. The way they added onto it later was pretty bullshit though. Skip like a year later, and we're in the Culling games, and Maki's fighting one of the people left from her clan that she wiped when she got her buff. She was doing pretty good, but I'm not gonna lie, she was getting fucked up pretty badly. There was two other strong characters there, and they were still struggling. But then a sumo guy pulled up midway into the fight, like a side course NPC, and wanted Maki to sumo with him. She just won with it, and they went to his domain to sumo. A minute later, they both come out the domain, and she kills the guy they were fighting pretty easily, and she became Toji level in like 5 minutes. The manga narrator said at the end too, so it's official now. Since her sister died, Maki could have always been that strong, but she didn't have enough experience to really be on that level, or that's how I understood it. The only thing Maki needed was to have more fights to bring her experience up, but then they brought up the sumo guy that probably won't even show up again, and he just solved everything Maki was missing in a minute or less. It's like watching a summary of a show and then acting like you're always fucking with it. Even you wouldn't believe the shit you were saying. They just put all that shit under the rug by making the sumo domain a time chamber thing. So for them it was like a year's worth of fighting or some other bullshit. The whole time speed up shit in general is just a built-in cheat to speed up shit you don't want to bother focusing on. Dragon Ball is the only one I can think of right now that uses it, but it's definitely been used in more animes. It's not that common though, cause it's just a bad practice. It makes it way too easy for a character to get strong. The author doesn't need to put a lot of effort in. I mean, on paper it sounds like it only has benefits, but you do lose the character's potential in character development. The whole Maki thing is basically what Deku went through when he got All for One. If they were doing a speedrun, they both got all of the potential of their power as soon as they got it, but we had to see Deku build up to that in real time. Technically they could use everything, but they were never meant to. They weren't prepared to use all of it at once, but Maki got all of first in like a day or 2 days. She just got the way easier route compared to Deku, and she didn't have scars that made her look suicidal. If you bought an account to a game with the best everything on it, you would still be dog shit at the game, cause you just don't know how to use what you have. If Maki got experience more organically like Deku, it will pay off a lot more for a character long term. They wouldn't even need like 100 chapters or anything long. The whole manga is gonna be done or close to done by then anyways. But in like 5 panels out of a chapter, they went through all the growth for Maki's character. Kaisen's pretty good at having characters that are way too strong for the story and not having them fuck it up. But Maki's their first flop. I mean, I still like her character, but the way they boosted her was pretty bullshit. In general, the blessing system they have is pretty unpolished, cause it's supposed to have an equal downside to the benefit it gives you. The not having curse energy downside isn't really a downside for Maki, at most it just makes it inconvenient. All she has to do is wear glasses now, but she can still keep up with most people. Then you got Kakichi. He got turned into a Make-A-Wish kid for having lots of curse energy, so the opposite of Maki. He's been living in a room underground for his whole life, cause his body gets injured by anything basically. They both got the extreme benefits of 2 different things, but like, it's not hard to choose which blessing you would rather take.
Good boy.
Like, I'm trying to meet Mr. Beast. Unironically, Gojo and Sukuna could probably solo every character, but they don't kill the story at all, cause of the way they get managed. They put some sort of limiter or seal or anything on both of them, so they don't steamroll everyone. If 2 people were about to kill each other, and they saw Sukuna coming up to them, it wouldn't take much convincing for them to team up. For the Culling games, they had to steal Gojo, so he couldn't just wipe everyone and ruin the whole arc. Usually Akutami is really good at this, but the way they handled Maki was a flop, I'm not gonna lie. Before the buff, she was like a grade 2 or a grade 1, but now she's a special grade in her base level, all in one interaction. You can cope however you want to, but it was just lazy writing and not wanting to focus on Maki from my POV.